I've been after the NBA All-Star game, it's been a lot of discussion about basketball, but I've been a basketball fan my whole life. So it's always discussion about basketball. Like growing up, I was a New Jersey Nets fan. They sold the team. So I ended up not really having a team, but I still love basketball. I watch NBA basketball, college basketball, high school basketball. So people always feel like the game is like softer now, is different now, and they never really talk about the reasons why the game is different. In a bad way, a good way. Most people think the NBA has changed in a bad way, basketball overall in a bad way. I love the game so much. So is the product different from before? It is. Is it in a lot of ways worse than before? Yeah, it is. But it's all reasons behind that. And I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it since I was in my 20s. I'm 40 years old on the dot, the big 40. So, like, I listen to Gil's Arena. I listen to all these different podcasts. I listen to Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes talk about it. And nobody seems to talk about, it was like a bunch of things that led into the NBA being the product that it is today. I think the easy thing to say is that, oh, they're not competitive or they make too much money. The writing has been on the wall for the NBA product to look like this for a long time. So I'm going to try to do a quick video. If you like it, like the video, subscribe, and I'll probably do videos about other shit where I just go on a rant, have a little drink. I make myself a little drink. I'm a warehouse worker. This is what we do. So when I was younger, maybe when I was like 14, 15, AAU basketball started moving, right? So I played AAU basketball. I met like a couple guys that I ended up going to high school with. They play AAU basketball. And it was like, it was different. Like, it was cool. Like, it was competitive basketball. But as I got older, I started realizing like, this isn't as competitive as it used to be. And a lot of it had to do with, like, when I play AAU basketball, like I said, I'm 40 now. So we're talking about 16, 17. It was still like running plays. Yeah, it was some pick and roll. It wasn't a lot of pick and roll. And it wasn't a lot of isolation basketball. Over time, one of the biggest detriments to basketball is AAU basketball. AAU basketball takes away from the core game, like the skill set. Like, if you watch an AAU, and I still will watch AAU basketball, if you watch it, it's all ISO or it's all pick and roll. It's all threes or it's all dunks. And it's allowed. It's so much money in AAU basketball that they allow this product to be placed on the court. And a lot of those AAU dudes, they go D1. And some of those D1 dudes go to the NBA. They run isolation. They run pick and roll. And that's it. It's not really like AAU basketball now. It's not real good ball movement. Most of the big guys, they can't pick and pop. They can pick and roll. That's it. Most of the point guards, they're not like driving to the lane. Like when I was growing up, and I'm not going to be the old head that says, oh, in my day, but like when I was growing up, it was a lot of point guards that like to get to the bucket. When you watch AAU basketball now, it's a pick, a roll. If the roll is in the alley-oop, it's a three-pointer. Basketball is way more complex than that, and AAU basketball is just one example. I'm not going to like make a fucking 2-hour video about this shit, but AAU basketball is one way that the NBA is fucked up now, because most of those dudes play AAU basketball, massive amounts of AAU basketball. And then AAU basketball, over time, you only stacked ass teams. Like Gilbert Arenas has his son Elijah in a high school, and I agree with him to a certain extent. You put them in a high school that isn't stacked and they get better. On a stacked team, you're really not going to get better at doing everything. And a basketball player should be able to do everything. Now, a lot of the guys in the game now, they can do a lot of, like the big men, they can shoot, they can dunk, they can pass, they can rebound, they can block shots, and then some of them got a lot of handle. Like, not a lot of handle, but they can dribble the ball, they can handle the rock. Way more than when I was growing up watching basketball in the 90s. So that's dope. But other than that, AAU really hasn't helped develop the game. Like, that's just one example. Like, AAU is toxic for the game. Like, do I feel like kids should still go outside and play ball? Yes, I do. I really feel like playing random kids really helps you get better at ball. Yeah, you playing random kids in A. Like, you gotta play street ball. You just got to. I'm not even gonna lie. You gotta play some type of street ball. These little pickup games and shit like that. Yo, there's something said about a 15-year-old kid playing street ball with grown ass men. You learn a lot on that fucking court. So that's one example. The second example, I remember the early, like, I'm not even gonna talk about, like, I don't really remember Petrovic like that playing, but like Arvydas Sabonis, Vlade Divac, like the Euro style, right? This is one of the key fucking things that no one talks about that changed basketball forever. So when they talk about like 80s basketball, right? So like, let's say Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, when they were in college, the NBA was fucking cooked. That shit was trash. People wasn't watching it. Like, people say NBA basketball is trash now, but back then people wasn't even watching it. So I'm not going to make it racy, but the shit is what it is. So you had Larry Bird, white dude, Magic Johnson, black dude. The NBA, like, college ran with it, and then the NBA built their product on that. So it was like kind of racy, and they built that product. But over time, and we just got to keep it real. I'm not coming at white American athletes, but at the end of the day, they stopped producing Larry Birds in America. The white dudes just don't be nice like that in America. So you kind of want a product that's diverse. So you kind of want to have black athletes, white athletes, whatever, right? America wasn't producing no more white good athletes like that. Like, that shit has been cooked. You can't name 5 dominant white American athletes now. Go 5 years back. You can't then. Go 5 years back. Like, something about, like, I get it, especially, like, you want representation of you or what you feel is you and your culture on the court. White Americans, they don't make it to the NBA, and they make it to the NBA and not superstars. So people look at the game like, you're not going to have massive amounts of white dudes watching the NBA. And if they do watch the NBA, they watch it because they do have representation now, but it's not the same representation that they had back then. So with white Americans not being in the NBA like that, because at a superstar level, the NBA wanted to grow their game, and they needed that representation in the game. It was all niggas. So they started exporting the job out to Euro. Do I like the Euro players? Yes. Do I think they're skilled? Yes. If you take 90s basketball, early 2000s basketball, maybe like 2000, from 2000, like 2007, a lot of the European players could not hang in the NBA. So they kind of started like changing the NBA rules to like a more Euro style game. The NBA product that we see now is more of a Euro style game. It's not 100% FIBA rules, but when it comes to a lot of the moves and a lot of the skill sets, especially like pick and roll is a European style of basketball where, okay, not all of pick and roll, but spamming it over and over again, that is European style basketball. The NBA kind of moved around with the rules and like changed the game to where these European players could come in the league, and they're in the league. And you got dudes like the Joker. You got Luka. I'm not the biggest Luka fan, but I'm not a Luka hater. Like, he could ball. But like, you got this European style play because you needed representation to make sure that you didn't lose the white fan base. So you got it, but it watered down the product. So you got AAU basketball. You got European players. I don't even want to blame the European players, because I do feel like if the NBA would have stayed how it was, the European players could have adapted, but they didn't adapt. So you kind of like watered down the NBA product to make it easier and more comfortable, like an easier transition for them to play in the NBA. And that's what you got. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not even going into like the Pistons and Jordan getting all fouled and fucked up. So they like, no, you can't hack like that. I was around for Iverson. I was like, you know who doesn't get credit for changing the NBA too? It was Shaq. They changed the rules against Shaq. They changed the rules for Iverson, but then they seen that the crossovers popular, so they kind of let them get away with more of a carry. And in European, like if you watch European basketball, I don't watch a lot of it, but like during the Olympics, you see them play. Like they carry. They've been carrying since I was a fucking kid. They just don't call. They like literally just don't call it. So, like I said, so you got AAU basketball. I think was toxic. European basketball changed the game in a way where American fans don't really like it. Like they just don't. Number 3. If I would say number 3. I would say a lot of these kids train ass backwards. I was not the greatest person in basketball, but I could hoop. I could get buckets. Like I could still get a bucket. I'm 40. I'll still cook somebody. But the way kids train, all right, so I talked to my best friend, and I call them cones, because most kids for a long time, this is like years, they train with cones. Not actual competition a lot of times. That is an issue. So like, let's say you got a kid that's playing AAU basketball, right? When he's not playing AAU basketball, he's training. He's putting up shots, and to get his dribbling up, he works with cones. I really think that cone adds a stiffness, and it takes away from like working with cones and shit like that. I'm sorry. Half of these trainers, if you could go on YouTube right now and watch NBA players training. Yo, why are you training with a 5'7" white dude? You 6'8". What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And then a lot of these trainers that you dealing with, they didn't even produce in college. They probably didn't even produce at the high school level. They got money, they got a gym. Then they got you walking around doing all this stiff shit with a cone. It kills creativity in the league. It just does. Like, no one says it. And like, yeah, everybody might not be a basketball nerd like me, but like I watch a lot of YouTube content on basketball outside of like just watching real life basketball. They work with cones. They do the stiffest drills. The fact that people can name every move that a dude is doing goes to show that the creativity is gone out the league. It's just gone. Like, if you're an NBA player or you're an up-and-coming player, you should be working out with other players, or you should be working out with like if you're in college, of course you're gonna work out with your coach and they got trainers and shit like that. But go get one-on-ones in. Go get a 5-on-5 with some randoms. Like, get some shit in so you could practice moves. Like, it's just a stiff ass product, man. Hold up, let me take a sip of this. It's just a really stiff ass product. And like, I know it's like the NBA gets a lot of hate. And to be fair, like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless watered down a lot of sports, like how people absorb sports and how they intake what product they're seeing, because they was just being toxic and they was trying to make shit pop. You know what I mean? Then this sun is gleaming off my face. But you know what I'm saying? It's right there, a little sunset. But a lot of times they set unrealistic expectations on players, and those players were never going to live up to those standards. Like, yo, it's 2025 and y'all still comparing people to Michael Jordan. Yo, Michael Jordan not coming back. Let it the fuck go. R.I.P. Kobe. You compare people to Kobe. Yo, Kobe ain't coming back. You got to observe the product that you got right there on the court and appreciate it for what it is, and stop worrying about what's in the past. Yo, they are legends and they are great because they were rare. It is what it is. Like, it's just toxic intake. It's just like toxic intake on NBA. Everything NBA. Like, every time I turn around, they comparing NBA to hockey. Yo, it's not even the same shit. Like, if you want to watch hockey, watch fucking hockey. If you want to watch NBA, watch NBA. But the other thing, I feel like a lot of these people that bitch about the NBA, I don't think they're basketball fans. Because it's enough good basketball. Bro, I got a daughter. She plays varsity. Not nothing all crazy. She plays varsity basketball. High school. Yo, they are competitive and rough as fuck, bro. If you a real lover of hoops, it's ways to watch real good basketball. College basketball is still good. They still play hard on defense. Still run good offense. Still they got everything in college basketball. You motherfuckers is forcing yourself to watch bad NBA teams. Yo, bro, everybody don't got money for League Pass. Bro, don't watch garbage product. You can watch the Cleveland Cavaliers play. That's not bad product. You can watch the Nuggets play. It's not bad product. You don't have to sit there and watch the Atlanta Hawks and watch Trae Young shoot 33s. The Boston Celtics are like a solid team. I fuck with the Boston Celtics. Yo, you don't gotta watch Jason Tatum. And I'm always frustrated with Jason Tatum. You don't gotta watch him shoot 47 fucking threes in the game. Turn that nigga off. Period. Find a team that you like and follow them. Like, or whatever team you love. Let's say you're a fan of the Sixers and they dog shit. Okay, go watch some college basketball too. Because I know that shit is hard to watch. But this shit is trash. But it's that, Joel Embiid learned a Euro style of way of playing basketball. So he plays like that. So, yeah, he big as shit. He's skilled as shit. We want him playing like Hakeem. Well, he don't really play in the post like that. He want to shoot, now, granted, I'm going to keep it real. When Joel Embiid posts up, he's a beast. He want to shoot the fucking mid-range. The shit is what it is. This is the product. So when y'all bitch about the NBA, y'all bitching about the NBA, but it's multiple things that happen. So if we're going to correct the NBA, if we're going to correct certain aspects of basketball, we got to get back to the foundation. AAU, it's too much money in AAU. They're not going to get rid of AAU basketball. The coaches of AAU basketball have to change how they coach the kids. They just have to. Even from the NBA aspect, there are ways, and I'm all about players getting their money, and getting as much money as possible because they provide entertainment and it's a valuable business. But they have to hold players' contracts accountable to how many games they play. I think that would affect how players play. The All-Star game, that shit might be cooked. It is what it is. You might just need to get rid of that and come up with something else. Unless, so I got a friend named Bill, and he a big ass hockey fan, and we be arguing shit about hockey in comparison to basketball. But I watched the hockey All-Star game, Canada versus USA. That shit was popping. And if you 40 like me and was a gamer, we all played NHL Face-Off 96 and shit like that. That shit was popping. I used to fuck with hockey. I used to watch, it was a goalie on the Avalanche named Patrick Waugh. I fuck with him. I used to watch Jaromir Jagr, shit like that. I used to watch hockey. I just stopped fucking with that shit. I didn't really play it. None of my friends played it, and I just fell out of love with that shit. But, maybe the format should switch to, USA versus the world. Or I think that would be okay, but if the players aren't going to play hard, yo, get rid of this shit. Just get rid of it. I kind of touched on some of the bases of how I feel about basketball and shit like that, the current state. Like I said, I don't think the product is as bad as everyone thinks it is, but there is issues even when I watch it, and I love basketball. There is issues in the game. But that's years in the fucking making. They got to get away from certain shit. You know what I mean? I understand America, especially when it comes to Olympics, the rules are FIBA. So you kind of we want to dominate in gold medals. So you fucking let them play in a FIBA way. But we got to get back to the fundamentals of basketball. That's what's missing. I love James Harden, probably one of my favorite players that I've ever seen play basketball. And anybody that watched basketball a lot, at OKC, he played defense. James Harden can play defense. He just chooses not because there's more money in basketball. There's more money in offense in basketball. You got to start rewarding guys for defense. A lot of teams don't even keep a defensive player like a Tony Allen or fucking... Even though he called himself the Kobe stopper, he's a fucking dickhead. Fucking Ruben Patterson. These players existed. They not really on teams like that. There's no defensive specialist. You had Patrick Beverley. He had the most overrated defense of all time. I never gave a fuck about Patrick Beverley. I never felt like Patrick Beverley, I fuck with his energy, but I never felt like he was locking shit the fuck up. So, it's funny because watching Gil's Arena, you got dudes like Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on there. They were two players. Matt Barnes could shoot. He played really good defense. Steven Jackson, low-key, could do a little bit of everything. He could break his man down off the dribble. He could shoot. He could do everything. And those players don't really exist. You got the Twins. One of the twins is on the Pistons. I can't think of the name right now. One of the twins is on the Pistons. The other one's on Rockets. They are two-way players, but their offense isn't there yet. Why is their offense not there yet? They fucking AAU players, bro. They've been athletic their whole life on the best team. They never gonna fucking develop. They just didn't develop. So like, all I'm saying, like, I gave y'all a couple of reasons of why I feel like the NBA product is what it is now. But if we're gonna fix it, gotta get back to the basics.